morning, friends. I hope you guys are well. I've got my hair up. I took my nail polish off. Today, I mean business because we need to clean my house top to bottom. As you know, there's been a cold going around our entire family, and when we are sick, nothing gets done, and our house has taken the biggest hit ever. So I planned this video because I asked you guys to ask me any questions that you want me to answer, because it's gonna be more of a getting everything done and voiceover type versus my typical vlog where I'm talking to you guys. So lots of fun is gonna be had today, but also lots of work. I wanna walk you through my method of how I just quickly and efficiently clean my house when I know I need to just cover so much ground. So I'll share what I use, the methods I follow, all those good things. If you're new, welcome. My name is Trisha Miller. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button to stick around. Let's get to work. All right, before I can even get started cleaning, I wanted to work smarter and not harder today. So I am packing up my cleaning caddy with anything and everything that I thought I would need. That way, when I'm going room to room, I have everything with me. I got as many microfiber towels as I could get, a trash bag, and it's just so much easier when you have everything within arm's reach, and I'm not like running to the cleaning supply cabinet to grab what I need. So I wanted to get that ready to go, and I'm just gonna literally carry it room to room. And then the next thing that I wanna do is start with laundry. When I know that I have laundry that needs to be done, I always like to start with that. I will set a timer on my watch so that I can remember to switch it over the second it's done. Our bed linens and Charlie's bed linens were due to be washed, so that's what my main goal is for that day. That way I can focus on just doing a little bit of laundry and then a whole lot of cleaning. The next thing I wanted to get done before I even really started cleaning was putting dinner in the crock pot. The last thing I feel like doing after a long day of cleaning is making dinner. So I took one of my freezer crock pot meals that we had set up together. This one is the honey chicken. It is so delicious and tasty, and it will just be ready to go at the end of the day. And it's so nice to not have to worry about cooking, because then what I would normally do is just order pizza or get takeout. And so I love these freezer crock pot meals. I will link that video if you are looking for something, and then I just added some rice to it at the end. And then now we are ready to clean, so I am gonna get a podcast going. I like to have something motivating me, like a podcast or putting on some music, or even just putting something like Gilmore Girls on in the background. I just feel like with a TV show or a podcast, it just feels like I have a friend with me while I am getting my cleaning done. I have a lot of different podcasts that I like to listen to, but I love Kylie Kelsey. I think she is so fun to listen to. I've been watching Survivor, so sometimes I'll listen to podcasts about Survivor or a different show that I'm watching. I haven't gotten into like the true crime where they're like analyzing an unsolved mystery or things like that, because I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat. But if you have a favorite podcast that you love to listen to, drop it in the comment section. I'm always looking for fun things. I love lighthearted things for sure, but I love like mom podcasts where they talk about parenting and things like that. But I do kind of want to get into the true crime stuff. So if you have something you think that will not keep me up at night, please let me know your recommendations in the comments. I had you guys submit some questions that you wanted me to answer, because I told you ahead of time that I was going to plan this cleaning and questions video. But before I get into those questions, I just want to give you guys like some updates on life. I feel like I haven't been the best on Instagram doing just, what's happening lately. But speaking of Instagram, I want to do this thing where I post, I'm hoping to do it weekly, where I just share just happy moments from the week and just some nice positive vibes out there for you guys. And it's just going to be just just the little things that made me smile that week. And just, I'm so good about taking pictures when something makes me happy because I love to just reference back to it. So I will start sharing that very soon with you guys. So I will throw up my Instagram account if you're not already following. But as you see, we had a birthday celebration in our house. It was our sweet Liam's 11th birthday this past week, and we had so much fun celebrating him. For our children, we don't just make it about one day for their birthday. It tends to be a whole week of events and celebrations. So we had his birthday party with his friends. We did it at a bounce place, and it's so easy when you do it at places like that, especially when you get a really good party planner that works for the bounce place, and they truly do everything, and you're just there helping and enjoying the time. And I really like that because then I feel like I'm in the moment. I'm actually spending time with my kids and their friends that are there, and I'm not worried about playing hostess. I mean, there's nothing better than like a party at your own home. That's what my childhood was. I just loved my childhood parties in my house. But nowadays, it is also really nice to go to a place where somebody's basically running it for you and you're just soaking up that time with your family. And so we had a really good time. And then on his actual birthday, my mom came over and we did our traditional, we did family dinner. Liam got to pick where we got takeout from. And then we do board games and family walks, and he opens up all of his gifts from us. And so it was just a really special time. I'll also throw up a picture for you guys of me in my dinosaur costume that I wear. I started this tradition in COVID where we were living with my parents at the time. It was the year that our home was being built, and randomly an Amazon package came for my parents, and it was this child's blow up dinosaur costume, and I fit in it perfectly because I'm a little bit short. And so I started this tradition where I just put it on because it happened to come, I think it was on Charlie's birthday. So now I go to the bus stop on my kids' birthdays with this dinosaur costume on. I hold up a sign that says happy birthday, and my kids, I think, secretly love it. They tell me it's embarrassing. I don't do it for Charlie anymore. I value the middle school life and how important all of that is, and he asked me not to do it, so I'm not going to do it anymore once they get to middle school, but I'm going to ride out those elementary school years as long as I can, and Rory is very excited for me to be the dinosaur on her birthday in December. I normally make my kids' birthday cakes, but it has just been so chaotic and busy lately, you guys, that I ended up just getting it from Costco, and Liam didn't say anything. I mean, the kid was not disappointed at all that I didn't make it. I did make the cupcakes for his party, so I think in his mind he had that homemade cake already, but the Costco cake, oh, it's so delicious. It has this filling to it. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. We did the vanilla one. It is something special. So anyways, he had a wonderful birthday, and I mentioned before about the podcast and not saying something that won't keep me up at night. I am having the hardest time. Well, I was having the hardest time sleeping. I think it's because I had the cold, and then when you're sick, you just don't sleep as well, even though you're exhausted because you don't feel good, but you just don't sleep well. Well, I had this one night, Rory had her cheer competition. So there's another update. Rory's little cheer squad had their first competition. They did amazing. I'll give a humble brag. They got first place. I was so proud of them. It's because it's these little itty bitty girls. It's kindergarten through second grade. And there are just these teeny tiny girls on there. And I'm thinking, how do they even remember a routine? But not only did they remember it, they dominated that competition, you guys. It was so fun to just see the pride in their face when they got first place. But anyway, the night before, the whole point of this story, as I'm bragging about Roy's cheerleading squad, the whole point was to tell you the night before her competition, I could not go to sleep. I started reading my book like I normally do. I had my sleepy time tea, my normal routine. It was a Saturday night. And then I'm all like Steven and he's always the night owl and I'm the morning person. So he always goes to bed after me. So I'm up, I'm reading my book. I'm usually asleep by the time he comes upstairs, and I was awake when he came up, and then he fell asleep, which then threw me off completely that he was asleep before me. And then it got to the point it was like midnight, and I try to be asleep no later than 10 each night. And so midnight came around, and I was getting more and more frustrated that I couldn't fall asleep, that I think I was almost sabotaging myself. But the last time I checked the clock, it was like 3 a.m. and I had to be up at 5:30 for Roy's cheer competition. So your girl was feeling it the next day. It didn't happen again. Like my sleep was kind of like off after that, but that just insomnia of not being able to go to sleep, I just really feel for people that deal with that on a regular basis. I was just not myself the next day. It was so hard. And of course we had the cheer competition and basketball and all the things, but I'm a problem solver, and I'm also a little bit of a panicker, and I didn't want that to happen again. So I immediately got, it's still sleepy time tea, but it has melatonin in it. I've never done melatonin before. I'm somebody who doesn't really like to take medicine. I take my thyroid medication because I have hypothyroidism, but my body is just really sensitive to medication. And so I feel things, and I don't like to feel any different. And so I was always worried about doing melatonin because one, I didn't want to then start depending on it to be able to get some sleep. But I just got some tea that had melatonin in it. It's a very small amount, and I feel like it's doing the trick. It could be a placebo, but I have had no problem sleeping. It's only been, I think I'm on night 4 where so it's the same sleepy time tea that I normally have, but it just says with melatonin on the box if you want to try it, if you're having a little bit of a hard time sleeping. But I do feel like we're also getting into the winter cozy season where it gets darker earlier, and we are all just exhausted by 6 p.m. because it feels like 10 p.m. because it's so dark. But that's, there's some life updates, you guys. I wasn't sleeping. We had some wonderful cheer competition. Liam had an amazing birthday. Charlie is having a good time in middle school, living that middle school life. He is volunteering with a group for a basketball. He got selected by a teacher to volunteer with some students with special needs that play sports, and I was just so proud of him, and he is loving every second of that. I should also probably give some Annie and Gus updates before we move on to questions. Gus and Annie are living their best life, their coziest sleepy life. As you know, you see Annie a lot. I don't show Gus as often just because, as you guys know, he needs to be in the basement. And if you're new, Gus is our 15-and-a-half-year-old chocolate lab, which is unheard of for a large breed dog to live that long. And he is doing well. He is certainly slowing down. He sleeps a lot during the day. I think it's so that he can save his energy for the afternoon when the kids are home with him. But we spend as much time with Gus as we can when he is not sleeping, and his age is showing. He is slowing down. It takes him a little bit longer to get up. And if you have an elderly dog, you know that that's just a natural part of the aging process, but he is still thriving. He still gets excited for treats, and he's eating well, and able to go inside and outside no problem, and drinking and all those things. So far he is doing really well. And thank you guys so much, because I know some of you always ask about Gus and Annie, and so they very much appreciate it. But overall, our family is doing so well in this just really fun and busy season of life. Got to remember to include all of my cleaning tips as I'm answering these questions. I'm going to get into the first question, but first I just want to explain why I'm using my little handheld vacuum on my stove. I was told by the person that did the install and then came to do a quick repair on it that you should always use a little vacuum before you wipe it down, because that stainless steel scratches so easily. And I've noticed that it does help with the scratching. I mean, if you did an extreme close-up view of our stove, you would see tons of tiny little scratches. It's not a perfect system, but I think it does make a difference. It's also just easier sometimes to vacuum up all of those crumbs. And then I like to just use Dawn Power Wash, and I spray it down, I get it wet, I give it a really good scrubbing, and then I will take a dry microfiber cloth and wipe it all up. It doesn't leave any streaks or any suds looking, and it just honestly looks brand new every single time. All right, let's get to the first question. I tried to group them so that the questions were together so I would have a smoother transition, and I will try my best to get them all answered. I know I've already been chatting so much, but so the first question is my cleaning question. Do you stick to a certain cleaning schedule? I tried the Clean Mama method where you do a little bit each day, but my schedule is such that some days of the week I can't do any cleaning, just daily dishes, etc., or it's hard to stick to a set schedule. Any suggestions of getting your kids involved if you do that? So, two-part question. Do I follow a specific method? No, I don't. I have tried different cleaning methods and it doesn't work for me. I'm a problem solver, so I like to come up with my own methods. I think it's fun in a weird way. I don't know. It's just how my personality is. And so I'm also a little bit of a control freak, and I know my house and my family's needs better than anybody else. And so I like to come up with systems that work for our family. It's also a constantly changing system because, as you guys know, when kids are involved, one day is not the same as the other day. And so to put the pressure on myself to follow a certain schedule or a certain cleaning method, it doesn't work for me. And then I'll just feel like I'm failing in some way because I didn't perfectly follow some method. So what I typically do, Stephen, first of all, we don't have a cleaning lady or anything like that. Stephen and I are the cleaning ladies for the cleaning people for our house. And so deep cleaning sometimes just doesn't happen, if I'm being very honest. I try to do it every single season, but it is certainly not something that we keep up with on a weekly basis. That is, I would say, the thing that usually kind of falls by the wayside is the deep cleaning. And so that's why you'll see me do like a whole deep cleaning session where I do a ton of stuff, and that's because I'm not able to keep up with that. So if that's something that's important to you, you might want to follow one of those methods where they get into the deep cleaning. But as far as the daily stuff, it is very much a tag teaming system. Steven does more dishes than anybody. So Steven has his routine where he is unloading and loading the dishwasher every single night. He starts the dishwasher in the evening after dinner, after he kind of puts those final dishes in from dinner. And so that is really nice because I do not enjoy doing the dishes. So it's nice that he takes that over. I do a lot more vacuuming and just like wiping down the counters. If he notices something, he'll do it. But it's just very much just Steven and I doing that surface level daily stuff and then involving our kids. Yes. It makes such a difference to involve the kids. And I like to think of it that I am teaching them life skills that hopefully they will carry with them when they grow up and they get older. I can't even think about that and move out of our home. But I think it's really important to involve your kids. And there's a lot more that your kids can do that you probably don't realize. This summer, and it was way late, I should have taught my kids a lot more earlier than this summer, but I taught them how to do their own laundry. Prior to that, Stephen and I would do their laundry and then just dump it on their bed and they would put it away. And, as the season gets busier, if they're not doing their own laundry, it's not the end of the world, but our kids absolutely put their own laundry away. They fold it, they put it away. I say the word folding loosely because they don't really fold it. They just kind of shove it into their drawers, which is fine. It's their laundry. And I also don't care if their pajamas are wrinkly. Speaking of kids, we're in Charlie's room right now. So when I say that they're helping, you're going to think that I am not telling the truth when you see the state of his room right now. But again, this is an extreme circumstance for our family right now because we have been under the weather. And if there is a pillow or a blanket that is missing in our home, you always know to go to Charlie's room. I don't know why. I've heard it's a tween thing that they just love extra blankets, but I think I counted like 7 or 8 throw blankets in that child's room when I was going through everything. But to answer your question, no, I don't follow a method. Stephen and I just have a system where we know what needs to get done on a daily basis. And then as far as the deep cleaning goes, I try to do that every single season. I involve my children. They take ownership of their bedrooms. They put all of their laundry away. If they leave something out, like in the living room and things like that, they put it away. We have them take it up to their room. In the summer, we had baskets on our stairs because they were home more often. And so each kid had a basket. This is a good system to try where any clutter or toys or anything that your kids have left, put it in their basket near your stairs and have them just take it to their bedroom or wherever it belongs once a week or every day, whatever works best for your family. next question is, are you ever planning to go back to teaching, and do you miss it? I absolutely miss teaching. I think teaching is a calling, and I'm lucky because I taught at a high school for, I think it was 11 or 12 years in the zone where we actually live. So I run into my former students all the time because it's only been 3 years since I left the classroom. I have some that live in my neighborhood. And so it is so fun to see them just as adults now. And I've gone to the weddings of some of my students. Some of my students have their own families now. And it is so fun. So I absolutely miss the relationships that I form with my students. I miss the content. I was a science teacher, and so I love science. So whenever my kids come home and they're doing something in science, I am eager to help them learn that material. But as far as would I go back right now, I don't have any plans to go back anytime soon. I always say I just kind of take it year by year. If I went back to teaching, I would not be able to have a YouTube channel. And I did not leave teaching thinking I would start a YouTube channel. This was just something I started on a whim about 6 months into being a stay-at-home mom, and I have absolutely loved it. So if you asked me 3 years ago that if I would ever be a YouTuber, my answer, I would have just laughed at you. I would never have considered that whatsoever. But I didn't realize how much you can still connect with people and feel like you're making a difference in somebody's lives by having a YouTube channel. And you guys, thank you so much, because you make me feel like I'm actually helping and offering support to complete strangers. And I feel like you are truly my internet friends at this point, because it's just so nice. I have a lot of the same people that will leave me comments, and I feel like I know you guys, and it's just really, really nice. So thank you for giving me this community and just this creative outlet and just that sense of purpose. And I think that's what teaching, when I left teaching, it's hard. You kind of lose that sense of purpose for a little bit. So I feel like all of that is being fulfilled. And when I was a teacher, I constantly felt this struggle of either being a good teacher or feeling like I was being a good mom. And I had yet to ever figure out the balance of being able to do both. And I just don't think we are built to be able to be good at everything and do everything fully. And so I am so incredibly thankful that I have the opportunity to be home. And I would not trade that for anything in the world right now. Being the last person that my kids hug and see before they go to school, and the first person they hug and they see when they get home, I wouldn't trade that for anything. We're in Liam's closet right now, and as you guys saw, there just wasn't a floor to the closet. And bless his little heart, this sweet child, I have told him over and over again that he can reuse a towel after he takes a shower, just hang it up and reuse it. But in his mind, he needs to use a new towel every single time, and so his closet floor is usually covered in one-time use towels. And so I'm trying to sort through what's dirty clothes, what's towels, what's clean, all the things. And you saw, I don't know if you guys saw in Charlie's video, but you'll see when we get to in Liam's room, he has a basket of clean clothes. Both of the boys were at basketball when we were doing laundry that week. We had to immediately leave for their games, and so they didn't get a chance to put their laundry away. So I'm putting it on their bed because, as I told you earlier, that is their responsibility. So I am not going to do that for them because I know that they're capable of doing that. So I'm just going to put that on their bed for them to do. And then we finally got the mountain of towels, and let's move on to the next question. So somebody said, how do you get motivated to clean when you'd really rather do anything else? And then, do you or your husband have any siblings? Okay, so two very different questions. Let's start with the first one. How do you get motivated to clean when you'd really rather do anything else? Honestly, guys, if you are having a day where you just are not feeling it, I encourage you just to not clean that day. I just have a little bit of a different perspective now where I think rest is important. And so if you've been going, just put that to-do list to the side for a day. Now, if you're coming in a situation where you have to get it done, I know we don't always have the luxury of just taking a day off and putting that cleaning list to the side. So if I know that I have to get something done, you guys can probably guess, I will start with a massive iced coffee to get that motivation going. But as I said in the beginning of the video, I'll put a podcast on, I'll put a show on, I will put something on that distracts my brain And so I just kind of escape into what I'm listening or watching while I'm getting the tasks done that I don't want to do. Guys, the toothpaste, I can't. Let me know if you have a clear toothpaste that your kids like. My kids, I've tried so many different toothpastes. This blue one seems to be the winner, and I want them to brush their teeth, so I want them to like the flavor of their toothpaste, but it is everywhere in our kids' bathrooms, everywhere. I don't even know how it happens, but if you have any recommendations for toothpaste that is not dark blue, please let your girl know. All right, and then the second part of that question, really quick also to help me motivate, I'll do a to-do list as well. So if I have a massive amount of cleaning and things I need to get done, I'll make a to-do list so I can check it off as I do each task. That is another thing that will help motivate me. I love to check off a to-do list. Okay, next question. Do you or your husband have any siblings? So yes, I will start with my husband. He has an older brother and an older sister. There's a little bit of a bigger age gap between them. It's about like 9 and 11 years, and they live in Texas. So Steven grew up in Austin, Texas, and so Steven's siblings are out there. They are married. They don't have any children. And then both of Steven's parents have actually passed away. His mom passed away right before I met him when we were in college. And then his dad passed away almost exactly a year before my dad. So it's been about 3 years at this point. So they are both all kind of near Austin, Texas area. And so we do try to visit when we can, and they come out here when they can, but it is a bit of a distance. And then for me, anybody who's following, you are aware, I did have a brother. He was a year and a half older than me, so very close in age, and he actually passed away last December. I took most of the month of December off last year because of that. And if I'm being entirely honest, I don't know that I have fully processed that. He lived locally. He passed just a little over a year after my dad, and I was still very much in the beginning stages of grieving my dad when my brother passed away. And so it was kind of just this double whammy of grief. And I think it's probably going to take me a very long time to process all of this. I do feel like I'm handling everything in a very healthy way. And as I've mentioned to you guys before, and anybody who has lost someone, I'm sure you can understand when I say it, just grief comes in waves, and sometimes it's unexpected, sometimes it is expected, like birthdays and things where you're, expecting to be with your whole family and things like that. It hits a little bit harder, and you can kind of prepare for those things. But it's just, yes, I do have a brother, but he passed away, unfortunately. And that actually leads into the next question, where somebody said, do you have any plans for the holidays? So we'll talk Thanksgiving first. I love our Thanksgiving holiday, actually. So Steven and I, my parents, well, just my mom now, but my mom is local. She lives very close by, less than 10 minutes away. So what we typically do for Thanksgiving, it doesn't always look this way, but what we strive for is just a small, intimate, relaxing Thanksgiving holiday that's not, anything knocking the big family holidays. I love those. I think they're so much fun, but it kind of goes with what I was talking about with Liam's birthday party. When somebody else is hosting the party for you, you can really soak up that time with your family. And so we like to keep Thanksgiving really small. And so last year and then this year, it'll just be my mom coming over with us, and we put on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We watch it as a family as we're prepping the Thanksgiving dinner, and Steven and I tag team cooking together. And it's a holiday that I very much look forward to because I spend so much time with my family, and I don't feel like I'm missing everything because I'm busy trying to prepare a meal for 20 plus family members. It's just, I absolutely love it. It's so relaxing. We have our sweatpants on all day. We wear these matching Charlie Brown Thanksgiving sweatshirts, and it's just, I don't know, I absolutely look forward to it. So we have a very low-key Thanksgiving. So that is our plan. And then another question related to Thanksgiving. Somebody said, do you have any time-saving tips for hosting Thanksgiving? I will do my Thanksgiving prep video. I'll try to aim to have it earlier in November to give you guys some time, but I do have some tips. The biggest thing that has saved me and Steven is we got these food warmers off of Amazon. I'll pop a picture of them up on the screen for you guys, but having that where we can make a side dish and then immediately put it in the food warmer, and it truly keeps the food nice and hot. It doesn't dry it out. It doesn't do anything crazy to the food. it's just so nice because I don't have to be so crazy about the schedule of cooking different things, because it can truly be just this complicated puzzle of figuring out when the turkey has to go in so that the stuffing can go in, and then when you have to make the mashed potatoes. I mean, you guys know if you have hosted, it is quite the schedule that you have to follow, and so I really love those food warmers. So I will share that and just more tips with you guys for sure once we get into November. Okay, I'm going to try to do speed question answering now since we have about 4 minutes left in this video. Somebody said, have you considered posting a compilation video of all your DIYs by season? I would love to do that, but I can't hold on to old footage because I don't have the storage for it. And I have a ton of external hard drives, but I honestly don't have the storage for it. So I will save my seasonal decor videos because I love to do that marathon of videos from the year before, but I honestly don't even have my footage of all my DIYs anymore. Thank goodness they live on YouTube to look back on fondly, so I wouldn't be able to do that because I don't have the footage. Somebody said, what is your least favorite chore? Mine is dusting. My least favorite chore is cleaning toilets, especially with 3 boys in this house. If you know, you know. So definitely cleaning toilets. My question is, have you ever been to other countries? Which cities would you like to travel to? I have. So I have been to Jamaica. I have been to Mexico. Gosh, I'm trying to even think on the spot. I probably should have thought about this before I answered this question. Places I would love to go. I would love to go to Ireland. I would love to go to Greece because I'm half Greek, half Irish. I would love to go to Italy. Tuscany just sounds like the most gorgeous place in the world to me. There are so many places. I would love to go to Switzerland. I would love to go to New Zealand. I mean, the sky is the limit. Our kids are still young enough that we like to do we didn't intend for it to be every single year, but it has become every single year a trip to Disney World. And I am just trying to soak up that magic while they're still young enough to really want to go. And so that's kind of been our routine for our travel right now with our family, and just smaller trips over the summer. I could absolutely see our family doing more international travel. Probably, I would say in about 5 years or so, once they're a little bit older and they're able to maybe kind of soak up those experiences a little bit more. Oh, Canada, that's another place I want to go to. I really want to go to Canada because that's where all the Hallmark movies are filmed, and it just looks so gorgeous there. But let me know where your favorite place that you have traveled internationally is, because I am definitely curious. Let me know if you brought your kids and kind of how that whole experience went. But yes, Steven and I love to travel. I just think we're kind of more realistic about the expectations right now. But I could see us 5 years from now, and then also especially once we become, oh my gosh, I can't even think about this because it'll make me so sad, but when we become empty nesters and our kids are all grown up and off, I definitely see Steven and I hitting the road. I would love to rent an RV and travel the United States. Honestly, I think that would be so fun. We have so many beautiful national parks. And so maybe I can convince Steven in our elder years, we're going to be the RV people and we're going to just go see the country. There's just a lot of places I would absolutely love to explore, and I very much look forward to that. And I'm now realizing I got so into the questions, I never talked to you about my method when I'm cleaning in the bedrooms. So I always start with the trash. And so I'll have my trash bag. Any trash that I see, I throw that away. Then I work on decluttering. So I put everything away where it needs to go. And then I get into the dusting and the vacuuming and like wiping surfaces and stuff like that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If I missed your question, I am so sorry. Please, I will add them to the next video. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 I did not get to today. So again, I'm so sorry, but keep the questions coming because I will plan one of these again in the future. If you're new, if you're still watching, yes, there's a massive hole in that blanket. I don't even know how it got there. Things happen when you have kids. It gets a little bit wild. But anyway, if you're watching and you're new, I hope you'll hit that subscribe button. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.